you, and please be seated. It gives me great pleasure to introduce the Reverend Dr. Louis Gates. Louis, welcome. It's always a pleasure to have you here.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. I just want to, everybody's wished everybody a happy Mother's Day. I'm going to talk a little bit about spiritualism and mothers and the energy of women within the spiritualist movement. And we have to go back a little ways into the Victorian era of spiritualism. So back in the day, back in the late 1800s, in that point of spiritualism, there was most of the mediums, most of all the mediums that were working in that day were women, were mothers. They were working as mediums, as professional mediums in that part of in all the places that were having women speak. And platforms, these platforms and spiritualist churches and spiritualist gatherings were for women to talk about suffrage, slavery, the women's rights to vote. All these things were being done in the day by women. And that because women at that point, when spiritualism was coming to its height in the late 1800s, it was women who didn't have any rights in society, didn't have rights. So women then started to speak from spiritualist platforms and gatherings. Victoria Woodhull was one of the major forerunners at that point. And she was, she's best known for her run for the United States presidency in 1872. So she was the first woman ever to run for the presidency of the United States. And she claimed her candidacy to be president of the United States of America. She lost her bid to be president, but she was the first woman who ran. And she became the president of the American Association of Spiritualists in 1871. So she was a major part of bringing forth energy as far as the women's rights and bringing forth that at that time period. Then we have Cora Scott, who was a trance lecturer that would go around the country talking from spirit, allowing spirit to trance through her, to bring through messages about women's rights, the different things that had to be done, that the spirit world thought had to be done. And Cora Scott was, she would later go on in her life to become a pastor for a spiritualist church in 1875 for the National Spiritual Association of Churches. And then she was the president of the National Spiritual Association of Churches because she was one of the founders of it. Then Emma Harding Britten would travel through England and into this country in the 19th century and do lectures all over the world of spiritualism. So these were key women. She was famous for giving the great funeral orientation on Abraham Lincoln in April 16, 1865, after his assassination. So there are very powerful women and mothers that were working in the spiritualist religion for many, many, many years to bring forth rights, to end slavery, to do all these things that had to be done. The men weren't doing it. We weren't doing it. But the women were doing it. And they were raising children at the time. They were raising children. They were taking care of households. But they were out talking about the rights that women should have. And I talk about that today as we move into this new era of civilization for women, that we need more people to come forward, to speak about the rights of women, what they expect for their own being, their vibration, and their children, and their daughters, and their sons, what they expect from the United States government. We need more women coming forward to speak about that at this time. What? Well, some of the men have drank the Kool-Aid, so we can't trust them to come, you know. So, but we have to realize that through my life, I've always had a very strong women in my path. When I was younger, my great-grandmother was still living, my grandmother was still living, and my mother was still living. So I had 3 generations of women helping me with spiritualism and how to do spiritualism, how to work as a medium. So I had all these women teaching me how to bring forth. And when we talk about the Seneca word of Castega, which means rocks beneath the water, I've always understood that to be the rocks are actually us. When I am pushed into the water and the water rushing over us, wards off all the sharp edges, all the stuff that's supposed to affect us and bring us to a smooth, beautiful, shiny stone, if we allow it. And a lot of the information we receive in life is actually from our mothers. Our mothers are the ones who give us birth, that love us unconditionally in our lives. They want us to be the best we can be. And they try to give us all the tools. In most families that happens. And mothers want to give us all the tools to make us extremely successful. And they love us unconditionally. No matter what we do, they still love us. They still want to connect to us. A lot of us have wives and people in our lives that are like our counterpart, our countersinker in our lives. They keep us on the straight and narrow. They keep us from making too many crazy mistakes. They keep us moving in the right direction. So as we go forth, and these days, the day today is Mother's Day, but whether it's your mother, your wife, your person in your life, you should tell them you love them. You should tell them that you appreciate what they've done for you in your life. You should tell them that you appreciate that, because they don't hear enough, and you might not get another chance to do it. You might not get another chance to say, you know, I really love you. I really appreciate you being part of my life. And we should always try to make people, lift people up, bring them to a higher sense of consciousness constantly. As spiritualists, that's what we should do. We should bring people to a higher sense of consciousness. Not tear them down, not move them, because we're not walking in their shoes. We don't understand what's going on in your life. We don't know what's actually going on in their life that's causing them these situations in their life. They could be in pain. Situations could have happened. Things have got them upset. So we can't judge them and look down on them. We have to try to lift them up, move them to a higher sense of consciousness. And as we move forward, we need to understand that all these women, through history, have been to uplift, to encourage, and bless people with their presence. When I first got out in Castega, many moons ago, but there are a lot of mediums and people out in the organization that helped me, that worked with me to try to help me. Mary Rossi was one of the first mediums I saw go into deep trance and talk to me from the spirit world in deep trance. I had many women in the spiritualist movement encourage me on the path, encourage me of what I need to be. And I think I learned mostly to be a medium was to be kind, to be supportive, to be uplifted, to be a blessing. Not to take you somewhere and leave you. My mother should always call, there's 2 types of mediums in the world. 2 types. There are the mediums that booked your ticket, but the plane was late. They lost your luggage. You get off the plane to your destination, you were taken hostage. They finally got you back to the airport. You never did get your luggage back, and they brought you back home. Then the other type of medium books the trip, you get there safely, you have your luggage, you book into the most beautiful hotel, and they bring you back, safe and sound, back to the original part of your journey. And mediums in this lifetime should be doing that, bringing you back to that beautiful part of the journey, that connection, vibration. Because I always say that people that do readings, give readings, you're coming for a reading because you already know that your life's a little bit of a mess. You already know that. I don't have to be the one to tell you that. I should tell you where your life is a mess. I should tell you how to fix what is going on in you. Not tell you what's going on in it. And we have to realize that as we are like these women, we are the counterpart, the vibration, the center part of this religion. To bring people into the religion, so the religion doesn't die. To bring people in, to be gracious, to be uplifting and loving, to be supportive. And that comes even if you want a medium, even if you want a medium. You are just around people. Just lift them up. Tell them uplifting situations in their life to help them. They could be going through something that you don't see. Be good to them. I laughed with before I walked around Castaneda and said, "Oh, Lord, she looks so tired. You look exhausted today." I said, "I look fine till you got here." Look fine a few moments ago. I don't know what happened that few moments when you walked up. But we have to realize when we say things to people, they take it to heart. And it brings them down. It brings them into a situation. We try to uplift them. We try to encourage them on their journey. And we have to, all the pioneers and people that, even in our lifetime, in my lifetime, that have been part of organizations through the United States. I've traveled with my mother throughout the United States, Canada, Europe. I traveled with my mother, doing readings and doing professional readings and tent revivals and all kinds of things. But the question is, a lot of the people that were at that point into all this, lifting up the earth plane, a lot of them have passed the spirit. A lot of them have gone to the spirit world. Sure, they're still helping us. They're still encouraging us from the spirit world. But we need the new people to step up as we go forth now to try to bring the religion to where it needs to be. Where it needs to be in order. So, as bringing forth that connection and a sense of consciousness, a sense of vibration. Mediumship is a conduit to the spirit world. It is not the full wire. It is not everything that we personally can put into it. It is that conduit that we use to bring forth the messages from the spirit world. And everybody can do it. Everybody can spend that time meditating and getting quiet and clearing the energy field around you, allowing you to sense the presence of spirit in your life. All our loved ones, all the people that pass the spirit, they wander around behind us. They're there because they want to be there. They're there because they can help, they can encourage. They aren't forced to be in your vibration. They aren't forced to be attached to you. They are there because they want to be there. They're there to help, to encourage the best they can. So, and I told that class the other night that people should say things out loud. Don't just have mantras in your head. Say it out loud. Talk to your spirit out loud. You are the only one on this earth plane that your voice is your voice. Nobody else on this earth plane speaks like you do. Nobody has the same voice situation as you. So when you speak out loud to the spirit world, they understand it is you. Not somebody else asking them, it is you. Once you ask internally, and you have to go through all your little filters, all the little doubts, all the little stuff that you placed into your being. Once it gets out there, spirit goes, what? So if we allow ourselves to speak out loud to spirit, talk to them, they will hear us. They will come forth. But when we do this, we have to want to be able to accept it. If you can't accept what spirit is bringing, you're probably not due to get it. She did a beautiful healing meditation. But if you can't accept the healing, she could talk till she turns blue and passes out back here. You probably still won't get the healing because you haven't accepted it. Same thing as other things in our lives. Oh, I'd love to have a relationship. Oh God, I just attract people that are crazy. See, you just, you have these things in our lives where you have to quiet that little voice within us and listen to our higher self. And I think that's what mothers teach us, to be good to ourselves, to help us, to encourage us. Sure, some of us come from family trees in our lives that have got a little bit of root rot. Trees probably going to die off. We were born in that family tree. We've got the root system within our lives. But doesn't mean we have to stay under that family tree the rest of our lives. We can venture off and find some other family tree that treats us with respect and love and support in our lives. Sometimes families are there only to give us birth, to encourage us and bless us on our journey. But maybe our mothers weren't the ones that we've had that strong connection to in our lives. But there are other women in our lives that affected us in a very extremely positive nature. So don't be upset if you don't have that massive connection in your life with your mother. Maybe there are other people in your life that you do have that major connection, because they are the ones that blessed you on your journey. So trust yourself. It's like letting all this stuff in your life find you. Find that connection for you. That's what you're looking for. That connection to the spirit world. I still talk to my mother in the spirit. I still have conversations with her and my father. But it's that question of having that conversation. That feeling of them there when you need them most. Even though their arms are not physically around you, etherically their arms are cuddling you and holding on to you as you sit here in situations within your life. Ask for blessings for other people. I always tell people that. Ask for blessings for other people. All of us have 10 to 15 guides and followers. You don't need all your guides. You aren't that much of a wreck. Send some of your guides to help some other people that you know. You guys don't all have to hang around you. Send them to help somebody else. They'll come back. Let them go help. Let them go encourage somebody else. Maybe you don't need them all at this point. Because guides will help. They will encourage whatever you tell them to do. Now, life lesson or life encouragement or affect somebody else's life lesson, you will see exactly what you're asking for. You'll see it. But be specific. You don't want to track something, it would take a week or so to get it back out of the house. Track what you feel is best for you. Ask for the perfect health. Ask for the blessings in your life. Say blessings over your life. Say blessings over your family, even if you don't quite like them. Say blessings over them. Eventually they might come to their senses and be nice. But say blessings over the family tree. Say blessings over it. Because even when you do that, the blessings affect that situation. But the blessings also affect you in a very positive nature. Because you're allowing it to go away from you. You're allowing it to leave your being, your vibration, your being. You say blessings over yourself. Even when you think you might have done things wrong in your life, things didn't work out exactly the way they should have. Say blessings over yourself, because most of us here today, probably our mothers are in spirit. Our mothers are gone. They've left the spirit world. They've left and gone to the spirit world. The love from there to here has not changed. They still love us. They still want the best for us. They still want to encourage us. So the energy has not changed from that direction. But back in the day, when they would fight for all the things that they needed in their lives, and women put up a good fight. They put up a good fight to gain the rights and the vibration they needed in their lives. Take energy from that in your life. No matter what's going on in your life, fight in your life for what you feel is right for you. Don't take it because you think you deserve it. Like, oh my God, I deserve that. No, you don't. You take it because it's going to bless you and encourage you. Not because you're going to take on some kind of life energy that's going to throw you off balance. You're going to take it because it encourages you and blesses you on your journey. But you have to realize that. I laugh. I got to tell you what. I think years ago, I'll tell a little story I had out in Castaneda. And it was Jimmy's wife, Kathy Grosclose. She come out on the porch, and Kathy says, "Don't look so serious, Lou. Life can't be that bad." I said, "I don't know, Kathy. We live here." She goes, "Oh, no, can't be that bad." And Kathy was always this giving heart. She always wanted to give. She wanted to help. No matter what Kathy had, she wanted to help you with it. She wanted to see if she could bless you with something. Always. Same thing with Molly Wyden. She would all come out and she would tell you to buy that gun. She would point your finger at you. But boy, she would help you if you needed help from her. She would be right there at the front doorstep, and most of the spiritual stuff, no. Even though they might act a little crazy, but they would be at your front door if you needed them. They would be there to help you. And we have to be good stewards. We have to be good spiritualists in our lives. Good spiritualists. We have to be good spiritualists for us. We're not here to impress anybody. I'm not here to impress anybody. I'm here to impress myself, not anybody else. And if I encourage myself to a higher sense of consciousness, then somehow I will affect you. Because the light that I shine from my being, where I am, will affect the light within your being, without me doing one thing. You must first work on yourself. I did a big workshop up north in Ohio called Metaphysician Heal Yourself. First heal yourself. Heal you. Can't heal somebody else. If you're sick and falling down, you have to heal your vibration first before you can heal others. Heal you. Let it go. You carry it this long in your life and it hasn't made any sense to you, why keep carrying it? Let it go. Was it worth carrying in the first place? Let it be. Don't beat yourself up and make yourself sick and ill in your life because you think you need to carry something in your life. Let it go. Somebody else will pick it up if it needs to be finished. It might not be your life lesson or challenge to take it the rest of the way. Trust your intuition in your life of what you need. Because everybody has motherly instincts. I have friends of mine that are single parents, fathers raising daughters and sons without a partner in their life. They're just as much a mother to those children as their mother would be, because they are raising them. So we all have those instincts of vibrational life to protect our own, protect us. And you have the instincts in your life to protect yourself. Don't let somebody come over in your yard and toss a bunch of trash in your yard and sit there and say, well, I'll be okay. I'm aware of that. Don't allow people to throw things in your yard for you to take care of unless you absolutely want it there. Don't grow where you're planted, but don't need to be planted in a weed field. Grow where you're planted. That's what my mother used to say. Grow where you're planted. But I said, there's a lot of weeds here. Might not want to be planted here. Maybe I want to live in the rose garden over there, somewhere else over there, you know? Not here. So pick your space. If there's a lot of weeds in your work field right now, and you don't understand where it is, then pick your little potted plant up and go across the street and place it there. Don't place it there and keep it there and be suffering there. Place it somewhere else. So we used to have relatives come to our house. That's the last story. We had relatives come to our house, and we lived up on the second floor of this condo, and we could see them coming in the parking lot. And we knew the crazy relatives, so we would turn all the lights out. We would lay on the floor until they went away.
Oh my God.
We wouldn't open the door. No sense of having that energy in the house. No, so leave it outside the door. Don't let it in. But we could see them from our thing. The lights would go off and be able to hide the dog. And we'd hold the dog's mouth shut. Go, don't you bark. Don't you dare bark. There's nobody in here. But we had relatives like that every time they would come to the door, they would need something. They would want something. They want me to give them something. They want to take something. So we just had to exhaust them. And sometimes people in our lives will bring things and we go, oh, please, go. Sometimes just flick the lights off, get a little tub of popcorn, go hide behind the couch and wait for them to leave. That's what we should do in our lives every once in a while. Just wait for them to leave. Don't entertain that in your life unless you want to entertain it. But say blessings over your life, say blessings over yourself, and treat yourself with respect. And I hope you enjoyed that.
Thank you, Louis. That was beautiful. Very special. Thank you.